Well, I'm looking forward as a practitioner to seeing more of the connections between the actual research data that's coming out and what I can do better, as somebody who, as a psychologist using traditional methods, but then also using the expressive work that I do. I'm really excited to see what I will learn and what will come out of this with how we can adapt expressive methods to a lot of the data that's coming out in the sensory-based bottom-up sensory integration kinds of things that are being studied that seem to be having some real impact on psychological trauma.
And I'm really looking forward to learning how, some specific expressive arts methods affect the brain in different ways, and how we can personalize these treatments in really changing parts of the brain that may be more or less affected. And then I also really look forward to thinking about in detail, how can we study specific expressive arts treatments, so we really increase our empirical evidence base for an expanded number of treatments, of course, for people who haven't done well with traditional methods.
Because expressive work and a lot of actually the somatic work that's been out there hasn't really been studied to the extent that it needs to. Although from all the anecdotal evidence that comes forward, we know that somehow it is increasing capacity in people that we see, but we haven't really drilled down into measuring that. And, for me as a practitioner who's involved in research to a minimal extent, that's the kind of thing I think most of my peer group as practitioners want to learn more about, because they do want to provide the best practices. They want to provide things that they know out of the emerging research are going to support the health and well-being of the people that they see.
I think this is what's so neat about this conference, and something that's so needed in the field, that we're going to bring clinicians and researchers very close together, and we're going to have a group of highly skilled clinicians and a group of researchers that also understand, PTSD and trauma-related disorders from a clinical perspective. And so I think the collaboration will be very close as a result. And I think that's something that's so needed in the field.
Yeah, I think that's what makes this conference different, we hope, than a lot of the other great conferences that are out there. Some of them are very content rich on the research, and that is really important that we all as practitioners stay abreast of all that and stay up on that information. But to combine the practice piece with it is something that I know I can just speak for myself, but I think I speak for my colleagues, that are practitioners, that they are hungry for that. They want that connection. They want to know why it is that you might engage somebody in a certain practice with some good foundation of research in back of it, and to make those connections. I think that doesn't happen very often in a lot of conferences, that we don't see that researcher practitioner balance going on.
Absolutely.
And I hope that that's what we bring.
Absolutely. And I think at this conference, we have highly skilled clinicians, and we have some really clinically informed researchers. And I think to bring this group together is really the way for the future of this field, to expand the armamentarium we have for treatments for trauma-related difficulties.
Exactly.